Hey guys, my name is Lucina Tierschuist, also known as TreadChic on Instagram and YouTube. So I am a proud wife and mother of 3. I am a speech language pathologist. I am a runner. I love to run. That's why I'm here chatting with you today. I am a run coach and a race director. I've planned about two 5Ks in Navarre, Florida, raising about $20,000 for families in need. That's very close to my heart. And I also, my niche as a run coach is helping beginner runners get on the right path and just to motivate them, as well as TreadChic, which is treadmill classes that I have on YouTube, motivating those that use treadmills with 30-minute HIIT treadmill workouts, because I love to get anyone running. If you have a treadmill, keep you motivated on that treadmill. And I just love making people realize that their bodies can do so much more than you could imagine, especially for those beginner runners. So why and when did I start running? I started running in the summer of 1998 after my freshman year at Rutgers University. I had gained about 20 to 25 pounds. And that summer when I got home, my dad said, "Hey, do you want to go to walk at the park with me?" And I'm like, why would I want to go walk at the park? But since I love having conversations with my dad, I said, okay, let's go. We'll go. Let's go have a good time. And we walked, and at the end of the week, there were so many people walking and running around the track. And I said, "Dad, I'm going to try and run like some of these people here." And I did that, and I never stopped. And I kept running not only that summer, but the summer after. I kept running through college. I did not find out about races until I think 2009, after I had my first child. So I kept running. I was running a lot, miles and miles a week and during the months. And it wasn't until later on that I found out about races. So my first race wasn't until 2009, after about 11 years of running. But I always thank my dad, because it wasn't until then, that summer, that I start running. And it has been absolutely amazing. I thank him again all the time, because if it wasn't for him, I would never have gotten into running at all. And it was just fantastic for me. Where it started as something to lose weight, it then began to be something that I absolutely love to do, to see my body transform that way, to see my endurance increase, my strength increase. And so it was amazing just to set goals for myself, to see where my body could go. These are things I never did in my life. I never ran. I mean, I remember being in high school where I would be asked to run a mile with my gym coach, and it would take me about an hour, and I was so winded. Going upstairs, I was so winded. I could not stand running. To me, running was if someone was chasing you. And here I was on this track. I used to just run on a track. And then just to keep going, I remember I used to just go for 5-6 miles, and I would love it. It would be something that I would just do, and it was absolutely amazing. And again, I thank my dad all the time, because if it wasn't for him, I would never have started to run and enjoy it. So again, what started as something that was for weight back in the summer of 1998, before I left for my internship, it went on to be something that I did just something that I enjoyed, something that I did for just, not only health reasons, but something that I did just because I loved it so much and I crave it. And it has been a great experience to be able to motivate others to do it. So I absolutely love it so much. So how do I stay nutritionally healthy? So I am 80% plant-based, and I say 80% because I do include seafood in my diet right now. So I'll include tuna, salmon, grouper, cod, shrimp. So I do include those for additional types of protein, but not to say that if I'm 100% plant-based, vegetarian, or vegan, there are plenty of options for protein, plant-based type proteins. I just stay healthy that way with a mix of 80% plant-based and 20% protein from seafood. I stay away from sugars because that just saps my energy. So I also just make sure I stay away from fried foods as well. But a lot of the foods I eat are definitely plant-based foods and some seafood. But that is so important, staying with the foods that keep me strong and that don't sap my energy, because that is such an important piece. I could run and try to run, but then if I eat something that just totally goes, just does not help what I'm doing. For instance, if I go and I'm running 5 miles and then I go, before I run, I eat something that totally will sap my energy, you can feel it during those runs. So I feel fantastic and on top of the world when my eating is on par with my training. You just feel like you can just go on forever. You feel so good. And I'm so thankful for the way that I eat, because it definitely helps me with my training and allows me to live balanced in a balanced way. So how do I prepare for a race? Like, it depends on the type of race that I'm running. Typically, I don't do more than half marathons, but depending on, but any race, I typically have a well-rounded program where I'll do a lot of interval training, incline training, so a lot of hills. I'll do a lot of conversational paces during the week, because a lot of times it's not all speed. So the majority of my runs are conversational pace runs, but I'll also include speed intervals, hill training, and also cross training. So workouts that typically mimic running. So cycling is a good example of that. But it all depends on the type of race. That just depends on the training. But no matter what, my training is always diverse, and I have to make sure that my body is getting a good amount of conversational pace runs. I'm not always performing speed type runs, but it's a good mix, and so of a lot of different things, but always a good, well-rounded program where I'm training for whatever race, and consistency throughout, and making sure I stay healthy and do the right things during those times. So how do I recover after a run? So I definitely make sure I have my static stretching. So I stretch for at least 5 to 10 minutes after a run. So those static stretches, I've been trying to roll a lot more because that just helps, especially with my IT band. I definitely try to do that. The other thing that I make sure I do is consume protein at least 45 minutes after I work out, especially if it's a longer run. Those things are having the protein is so important, because we think about carbohydrates as that fuel, that gas, and then protein as it repairs those muscles. So I definitely want to make sure that I have my protein 45 minutes after. I definitely try to do that each day, every time I run. And I say each day because right now I'm on a run streak. So today I think is day 78. So I always make sure to get that protein in and make sure my body is fully recovered so I can go out and feel great on all the other days. Okay, and again, stretching is so important, because I have been injury-free for many years, and I definitely think it's because of the stretching. It's such an important piece, of course, in weight training, but after a run, definitely my static stretching, and dynamic beforehand, but static afterwards, and my protein 45 minutes after. I like to consume like Orgain. If I have a smoothie, that's my go-to after a run. It's definitely a smoothie that's filled with proteins and veggies and fruits. So that is how I repair after a run. So what are my tips for runners, beginner runners? To allow yourself grace. That's the most important thing. You know, consistency. With consistency, you will get to where you want to go, but you have to remember you're only against yourself. It's your race, your pace, but definitely be easy on yourself, and especially in the beginning, because I think a lot of times beginner runners have these, sometimes, not all, but sometimes beginner runners give themselves these goals where they just go all out, and they may burn themselves out, and then they just sort of give up or think that they cannot do it. But I think the beginner runners that continue are the ones that are consistent with it and just take their time and gradually work their way up. Giving themselves that grace. If today I wasn't able to complete the 2 miles, hey, I got out. I was able to maybe do 1 mile, and then slowly build your way up. And it's amazing how, especially with beginner runners, how amazing in just a few short weeks, if you start off slow and you're consistent, where you get. I mean, it's just amazing how there's a quick turnaround from beginner to past that, because your body just adapts so well, especially if you're consistent. So again, my advice is to allow yourself grace. It is your race, your pace. You're running against yourself, unless of course you're an athlete that is in races and you're trying to be the first in the race. Of course, that's different. But beginner runners who are really just getting into it for health reasons or just for recreation, for fun, allow yourself grace and have a good time with it. And before you know it, you'll be further than you could have ever imagined. Thank you for watching Hybrid Running. It's been a pleasure for me to chat with you today. If you want to check out and find out where I am, you can find that in the description below. And remember to always enjoy the run. Bye. Have a good time. Bye.